What if the thing you keep dismissing is actually God trying to get your attention? That strange feeling you can't shake, that repeated number, that door that keeps closing no matter how hard you push, that person who walked away even when you begged them to stay. What if none of it was random? What if every single one of those moments was a message and you almost missed it? Stay with me, because what I'm about to share has changed the lives of thousands of people who were one decision away from walking right past what God was trying to show them. And it might be exactly what you needed to hear today. Before we go any further, if God has ever spoken to you in a way you couldn't explain, go ahead and hit that like button right now. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it, because we talk about things here that most people are too afraid to say out loud. Now, let's get into this. There's a moment, and maybe you've already felt it, where life starts repeating itself. The same situation keeps finding you. The same type of person shows up and destroys your peace. The same kind of pain wearing a different face. And after a while, you start to think it's just bad luck. You think this is just how your life is. But what if it's not bad luck at all? What if it's a message? Because God doesn't always speak in thunder and lightning. He doesn't always send an angel to your door. Sometimes He speaks in patterns, in delays, in losses, in that quiet, uncomfortable nudge in your spirit that you keep trying to silence because you're too busy, too afraid, or too comfortable to deal with what it's asking of you. And the dangerous thing? Most people miss it. Not because they don't believe, but because nobody ever taught them what to look for. Today, that changes. Sign 1. The disruption that keeps happening. The first sign God is trying to get your attention is something most people mistake for failure, and that is when the same area of your life keeps falling apart no matter what you do. Your relationships keep ending the same way. Your job keeps putting you in the same miserable situation. Your peace keeps getting stolen by the same kind of chaos. And every time it happens, you patch it up, you move on, you tell yourself it'll be different this time. And then it falls apart again. Here's what most people never stop to consider. Disruption is not punishment. Disruption is redirection. In Jeremiah 29:11, God says He knows the plans He has for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you. But here's the question nobody asks. What if the life you're fighting so hard to keep is not the plan He has for you? What if the thing you keep rebuilding is the very thing He keeps pulling down because it was never meant to be your foundation? Every time that situation collapses, every time that door swings shut, God might be saying, "This is not it. Let it go. I have something better." But you keep running back to what I'm trying to remove from your life. Think about that for a second. What has fallen apart in your life more than once? Because that pattern is not a coincidence. That might be the most important sign you've ever been given. Sign 2, a peace that makes no sense. Now, the second sign is one that almost nobody talks about, and it's this. You feel a deep, unexplainable peace about something that by every logical measure should have you terrified. You're in the middle of a situation that looks impossible. Everything around you is uncertain. The people in your life are panicking on your behalf. And yet, somewhere deep in your spirit, underneath all the noise, there is a quiet stillness you can't explain and can't seem to shake. Most people, when they feel that peace, they talk themselves right out of it. They say, maybe I'm not taking this seriously enough. Maybe I'm in denial. Maybe I should be more worried. And so they trade a divine signal for manufactured anxiety because they don't trust what they can't intellectually explain. But Philippians 4:7 calls it the peace that surpasses all understanding. And notice those words carefully. It surpasses understanding. That means your mind was never supposed to be able to explain it. That's the whole point. God gives you a peace that goes beyond what your brain can process. And that peace is His way of saying, I've already handled this. Stop fighting what I've already won. Trust me. When God gives you peace in the middle of a storm, that is not weakness, that is not ignorance. That is a sign that He is in the storm with you. Sign 3, the door that will not open. Now this next one, I need you to really hear this one, because this one involves something you want deeply, something you prayed for, something you've worked for. And no matter how much you believe, no matter how hard you try, no matter how many times you fast and pray and push, that door will not open. And you're exhausted, you're frustrated, you're asking God, why won't you let me have this? What am I doing wrong? Why does it seem like everyone else gets their breakthrough except me? But what if you're not doing anything wrong? What if the door isn't closed because you failed, but because God is protecting you from what's on the other side of it? Revelation 3:7 says what he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open. That is not poetic language, that is a spiritual law. And if that door has been shut, it was shut on purpose by a God who can see what you cannot see, who knows what that open door would have cost you, who loves you too much to let you walk into something that looks like a blessing but would have destroyed you. The sooner you stop exhausting yourself trying to force open what God himself has closed, the sooner he can walk you toward the door you haven't noticed yet, the one he's been holding open for you while you've had your back turned, still banging on the wrong one. Sign 4, the thing that keeps coming back. This fourth sign is the quietest one, but in many ways it is the most powerful. And it's this: there is something that keeps returning to your mind. A thought, a calling, a dream you had years ago that you tucked away and buried because life got complicated and people told you it wasn't realistic. And yet, every few months, sometimes every few weeks, it comes back. You've called it wishful thinking. You've called it fantasy. You've convinced yourself that the window is closed, that you're too old now, that you missed your moment. But what if God planted that thing inside of you, and he keeps bringing it back because he hasn't changed his mind about it, even if you have? Romans 11:29 says, "The gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. He does not take back what he placed in you. He does not cancel the assignment he wrote for your life before you were born." That dream that keeps coming back, it keeps coming back because it belongs to you, and God is not done with it. He is simply waiting for you to stop running from it and finally say yes. Now, here's the part that I think is the most important. Why do people miss these signs when they're so clear? It's not because God stopped speaking. It's not because they don't have enough faith. It comes down to 3 things, and they work together to keep you stuck. The first is noise. We're so overwhelmed, so overstimulated, so buried in information and distraction that we genuinely cannot hear a still, small voice anymore. And God spoke to Elijah not in the earthquake, not in the fire, but in a gentle whisper. If your life never gets quiet, you will miss him every single time. The second thing is fear. Because sometimes what God is asking you to do sounds terrifying. Leave the familiar, trust the unknown, walk away from what feels safe, even though it's slowly destroying you. And fear has a way of convincing us that staying is wisdom, when really it's just fear wearing a costume. And the third thing is comfort, because sometimes the sign requires change, and change disrupts the life you've worked hard to organize. So instead of accepting the sign, we rationalize it away. We tell ourselves we imagined it. We go back to what we know. And another season passes while God waits patiently for you to stop choosing comfort over calling. Here's what I want to leave you with today. God is not silent. He has never been silent. He is speaking into your life right now, through your circumstances, through your delays, through the peace you can't explain, through the dream that won't die, through the doors that keep closing, and yes, through this very video that you somehow found yourself watching today. The question has never been whether God is trying to tell you something. The question is whether you are willing to be still enough, honest enough, and brave enough to listen. Stop dismissing the signs. Stop fighting the redirections. Stop grieving the closed doors as if they were losses, when they may be the greatest protection you've ever received. And start asking God one simple question. What are you trying to show me that I haven't been willing to see? That question alone, if you ask it honestly, could change the entire direction of your life. If this message spoke to you today, and I truly believe it did because you didn't land here by accident, please share it with someone who needs to hear it right now. Someone who's been missing the signs, someone who's been exhausted fighting the wrong battles. They need this today. And if you got something from this, hit that like button. It helps this message reach more people who are searching for exactly this. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on your notifications because every week we go deep into the things that matter most for your faith, your purpose, and the life God actually designed for you. And one last thing, go to the comments right now and tell me what sign hit you the hardest today. Your story might be the very thing that gives someone else the courage to finally stop ignoring what God has been trying to show them.